camera pans through rain-soaked streets. Headlights cut through the darkness. A man's voice narrates softly. They say life gives you second chances in the strangest ways. I never believed that, until the night I pulled her out of that burning car. The scene freezes, flames reflected in his teary eyes. Then the screen fades to black, with one question in bold white letters. What if saving a stranger meant finding the one person who could heal your heart? Ryan Carter, a single father in his mid-30s, had spent the last 3 years living in quiet pain. After losing his wife, Emily, in a tragic accident, he devoted his life to raising their 8-year-old daughter, Lily. Every night after putting her to bed, he'd sit by the window with a cup of cold coffee, staring at the stars, the same stars Emily used to point at, whispering, "Promise me you'll always look up when things get dark." But that night, a storm rolled in, one of those nights when fate decides to intervene. Ryan was driving back from his night shift as a mechanic when he spotted a car overturned by the roadside. Flames flickered beneath the hood. Without thinking, he stopped. Rain poured as he ran toward the wreckage, breaking the glass with his elbow, pulling out a woman who was barely conscious. "Hey, stay with me. You're going to be okay," he shouted, coughing through the smoke. She opened her eyes for a brief second, green eyes shimmering with fear and confusion, and whispered, "Please, my brother, he's gone." Ryan looked around, there was no one else. The fire intensified. He dragged her away from the car just before it exploded. Hours later, in the hospital waiting room, Ryan sat soaked and trembling. The nurse approached him. "She's stable. You saved her life. Her name is Grace Morgan." He sighed in relief. But when he heard her last name, Morgan, his chest tightened. That was Emily's maiden name. It couldn't be a coincidence, could it? The next morning, Ryan visited her room. Grace was sitting up, bandaged but awake. Their eyes met, and something inside both of them shifted. She smiled weakly, "You're the man who saved me." Ryan nodded, trying to hide his unease. "Yeah, just lucky I was there." But as they talked, he noticed something eerily familiar in her gestures, the way she tilted her head, the warmth in her laugh. When he asked about her family, Grace hesitated. I lost my sister years ago. Her name was Emily. We had a fight before she died. I never got to say I'm sorry." Ryan's heart froze. The coffee cup slipped from his hand and shattered on the floor. "Emily was my wife." The room fell silent, the sound of the heart monitor the only thing breaking the air. Grace stared at him, tears welling up. "You're Ryan Carter?" He nodded. "And you're Emily's sister." The realization hit them both. Fate had crossed their paths through tragedy, years too late. Days turned into weeks. Grace slowly recovered, but her emotional scars ran deeper than her wounds. She began visiting Ryan and Lily often, at first out of guilt, then out of love. She helped with dinner, taught Lily how to paint, and brought laughter back into their quiet home. Ryan found himself smiling again, something he hadn't done in years. Yet inside, he battled guilt for moving on, for letting someone else fill the space Emily left behind. One evening, while putting Lily to bed, she asked innocently, "Daddy, do you think Mommy sent Miss Grace to take care of us?" Ryan didn't know how to answer. But later, standing on the porch with Grace, he said quietly, "I think, maybe she did." Grace looked at him with tears. "Ryan, I thought I lost my sister forever. But being here, with you and Lily, I feel like a part of her is still alive." He took her hand gently. "She'd want us to live again. Not just survive." But their peace was tested when Grace's past came knocking. A letter arrived. Her brother's insurance company needed her signature, but reopening those records meant revisiting the night of Emily's death. It turned out, the same car malfunction that killed Emily had also caused Grace's accident years later, a manufacturing flaw Emily once tried to report but was silenced for. Grace broke down. It's my fault, she died trying to help me. I pushed her away. Ryan hugged her tightly. No. Emily didn't die because of blame, she died protecting love. And you're proof that love never really dies. Weeks later, they returned to Emily's favorite lake, the place where she used to paint sunsets. Lily placed a flower in the water and whispered. Mommy, thank you for sending Aunt Grace. Grace smiled through tears, and Ryan finally let his grief go. The sun dipped low, painting the sky in colors Emily loved most. Ryan whispered, maybe life doesn't take people from us, maybe it just brings them back in new ways. Grace squeezed his hand. And maybe, saving a life isn't about what we lose, but what we find after. The camera pans out, the three of them walking along the lakeshore, hand in hand. The same voice from the beginning returns. That night, I thought I was saving a stranger. But she was saving me, from the loneliness, from the pain. And together, we learned something beautiful. Sometimes, the people meant to heal us are the ones we never saw coming. Fade out to soft piano music and sunset glow. Love never truly leaves, it just changes form. When we open our hearts again, even after loss, life finds a way to give us back what we thought we'd lost forever.